This is the last story in the collection Tales from the Urals, and I'm reading the ending of the story today. And just a short summary, if somebody needs it, the story is set in Imperial Russia. Our main characters are villagers who earn their living by stone carving. This particular story starts when the baron's aunt orders Alexei, our main character, to make a necklace for her. She also tries to seduce him, but he resists. As he looks for the proper material for her necklace, he runs into a mysterious young girl. She helps him find the stone he wants, but makes him promise he will carve two necklaces and give her the first one. However, the baronet comes and takes the first necklace from the guy. He decides to come clean and hopes the magical girl forgives him. And while he goes looking for her, he runs into the lady of the mountain and accidentally asks for the girl's hand. So we're at the very end of the story. So he looked at the full moon and the stars and played some tune he didn't even know he knew. After a while, he heard a splash and saw the girl. She sat on the same stone as before, rocking her bare feet, and listened to his music. And she was sad as sad. He felt so happy to see her, he rushed to her without a second thought. She jumped to her feet and away, quick as a cat. "What is it you want with me?" she asked. He bowed to her deeply, like she was the lady herself. "Good eve, Tatiana," he said. "I come to ask for your forgiveness." "What is there to forgive?" She frowned. "That you talked to the lady without my will?" "No, not that," he shook his head. "I do not regret what I said to her. This should be done in the proper way, asking the parent before the bride." "Don't you wish to know what I'll say to that?" she replied. "Aye, more than anything. Will you be my wife?" She said nothing, just tilted her head in thought. "We'll see," she said gravely. "What about my bride's gift? You promised to bring my necklace today." Alexei was ashamed, but told her everything that happened truthfully. "Do what you will with me," he finished as he bowed his head. She just stood there for a while, and when he looked up, he saw she was smiling. "Don't you worry, my dear friend Alexei," she said mildly. "I am not cross with you. I have told you things will work out for you, and they will. My necklace will take care of itself. As for the one that your father is making, ask him to bring it to Snake's Mountain when it's done. He shall leave it on the stone at the top there. He'll know which one." "When will you give me your answer?" he asked. "Soon. Go now. I'll see you on Sunday night." That same evening, the baronet decided to try on the necklace. She took it out of her canvas bag, and it was so cold her fingers felt like ice. She fiddled with the clasp and put it around her neck. The stones had a winter chill to them, but she thought, "It'll warm up soon. Jewelry always does when you wear it long enough." And she went out to the dining room like that. She didn't have much appetite, though. She was dining alone, no other nobles around here for miles, eh? She was very displeased with the boy who rejected her so rudely last week. I will make him pay for that," she thought. "I'll triple their due come June, you just wait." The necklace, meanwhile, didn't warm to her skin. Even worse, it seemed to become tighter and tighter and weigh like it was lead, not malachite, it was made of. She was a stubborn woman, though, that one, and she thought, "It's fine. I'll take it off when night comes. I just need a little time to get used to it. Stones are always heavy and cold. Look at the Tsarina. She always wears solid gold collars or beads with many lines in her portraits. I can do this too." She felt sick and weak nonetheless, and when Dashka, her servant, came in to ask if she wanted cake with her tea, the baronet waved her off. By the time she got back to her chambers, she felt so weak that she just lay on the bed on top of the blanket. She thought, "I'll rest a bit before changing for the night," and closed her eyes. They found her around noon the morning after. Her face was all blue, and there were bruises around her bare neck. Barin's guards made some noise, of course. They grabbed Dashka and shook her till she told them the Barina had only made friends with one person in our village, Alexei. But she, Dashka, didn't see him that evening, and when she locked up for the night, the Barina was surely alone. The windows in the dead woman's chambers were all locked from the inside, so no chance someone could have gotten in either. After that, they arrested Alexei, no doubt about that. They put him in a makeshift jail, but they didn't have any proof against him, and they didn't care much for the Barina, to be honest. She was not ours, and the guards, our village guys, were not in a hurry to flog the guy to death for something he probably didn't do. One of the guards was Alexei's neighbor, Yermoshka. They used to hang out at the pond together back when they were little. Yermoshka was a kind man and fair. He talked the other ones into letting Alexei out, at least till the Barin comes back. Where would he go, they reasoned. All the nearby villages belonged to our Barin anyway. So they let him go on Sunday morning. It was Easter, after all, a big holiday in our country. As Alexei walked home, he met people wearing their best to go to church, and they wished each other happy Easter. Christ has risen, one of his neighbors greeted him. Risen indeed, he responded like he should. And he thought to himself, such a strange festival. First they tortured their God's son, then nailed him to a cross where he died slowly and in pain. And now we celebrate that he managed to come back from the dead. Yet he couldn't help but feel festive himself. He was free after all. The Barina would not pester him no more, and he would see his Malachite girl soon. Katya was busy about the house when he arrived. Danilo was at the carving machine. He had finished the other necklace and was working on their new orders. He looked much better and had stopped coughing mostly. Such good news! Alexei gave his mother a big hug and saw a deep line between her brows. She knew Danilo was to take the necklace to the lady, and she worried. Alexei kissed her on that line and asked for her blessing. He takes after his father even in this, she thought, but said nothing. She gave him her blessing nonetheless. What will be, she thought. The lady had given her Danilo back all these years ago, but Katya felt in her gut there would be a payback one day. If you want to go, Alexei, I won't stop you. We will miss you dearly, but I fear the Barin will go after you for the dead Barina when he arrives. He will want a culprit for sure, so go and be safe. She hugged him tight. Say goodbye to the little ones, but don't tell them much. They don't need to know. Evening came. Danilo went to Snake's Mountain, but saw no one there, just two green lizards hopping about the big stone on its top. The old man did as he was asked, left the necklace on the stone. Thank ye, lady, he said, for keeping us safe. He bowed to the stone and the lizards on it, and went back home. Meanwhile, Alexei headed for the quarry. Nobody saw him ever since, but people say when the moon is full, you can see some odd reflections in that quarry, like a fair guy and a girl with a dark braid stand on a rock hanging above the water, and they hold hands. But if you look up, there is nobody on that rock.